Welcome back, everyone. A bipartisan group of senators unveiling a $908 billion stimulus plan. It gives money to small businesses, cities, states, and extends unemployment insurance. But not everyone is on board. As our next guest fears, AOC and the squad could derail any legislation coming from the Senate. Democratic West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is one of the lawmakers behind that bipartisan bill that includes Senator Cassidy and others, and Mitt Romney. He joins us now. Senator, what made you say the status quo is not okay, and called 1-800-REPUBLICAN and say, let's try a deal?
Well, what happened is nothing was happening. That's the problem, Brian. We've been talking about, and our leadership's been at a stalemate, both in the Senate and over in the House. The people are hurting in my state of West Virginia. They're hurting in every state. And we're in a worse pandemic now as far as the outbreak of the pandemic will get much worse this first quarter. We're trying to get through the most difficult times that we've ever had. And that's going to be people that are losing everything as far as all their benefits are running out at the end of December, and the economy hasn't recovered. There's more shut down. There's no outside dining, and a lot of inside dining has been shut down. So we have restaurants hurting. We have so much that needs to be assisted here. There was $560 billion, roughly $560 billion left over from the first CARES package. And that's what Leader McConnell is calling the skinny package. He just wants to get that out the door. We've put, with Democrats and Republicans working together, another $348 billion to that, makes it 908. So it's only 908 of new money. So people that think it's too much or people think it's not enough, maybe we've hit the sweet spot, and we're hoping our leadership will look at this in a very constructive way.
Okay, so some of the things, I'll just run through them. It's a lot of money. $160 billion for state and local governments, so they could decide what they want to do with it.
No, they can't. No, they cannot. The language is much different. We're not making the mistakes of the past. And Mitt Romney and all my friends, Bill Cassidy, myself, Susan Collins, Mark Warner, we are committed to making sure there's accountability and responsibility.
So are you worried, for example, Democrats or Republicans always point out, a lot of these Democratic-run cities, states, not yours, have committed to a lot of these funds and pensions that are unsustainable, and they asked for the federal government to bail them out, and they might use this pandemic as an excuse to do that, like New York and California?
Cannot. I can assure you, with my Republican colleagues and the way I feel also, and I've spoken to the governors on all sides, they know they cannot cure their ills with this money. That won't happen.
$45 billion for transportation.
Needs to be done.
$12 billion for community lender support, $288 billion for small businesses. We know that hundreds of thousands of businesses are not going to reopen. $180 billion to extend unemployment benefits. Even conservative Florida wants to do that. $10 billion for broadband, $10 billion for child care, $10 billion for the post office, $25 billion for nutrition and agriculture. And both sides in this group of how many have checked off on this?
Well, we had 10 basically that worked on it diligently for the last 3 weeks. What we have now, Brian, is just keeps growing. More people are seeing this as something that can be doable. This is acceptable. It can be passed. We just need our leadership to get on board. Both sides of our leadership are not happy with it. Some want less, some want more. Well, the bottom line is this is an emergency relief package. It's not a do-all, end-all, Brian. That's what we're trying to make him explain. And in Leader McConnell's skinny package, there's nothing for hospitals, there's nothing for nursing homes, nothing for nutrition or food, there's nothing for state and local, there's nothing for rental assistance, nothing for opiate treatment, and nothing for broadband. These are things that need to be done to get through, because the next quarter is going to be tough. If they want to do more later, if President-elect Biden, when he's president, is able to do that, we can come together and see what else we need. This is what's needed now, and both Democrats and Republicans agree. And bicameral on both sides of the aisle, in the House and in the Senate. That's unbelievable. And
Senator, I can't tell you how many average everyday Americans have come up to me and said, do you think they're going to get something done in the interim?
Yeah.
Because you have to hit, you're talking about over 100,000 small businesses that are not coming back. They say between 4 and 5 million Americans will be permanently unemployed. What about the college kids graduating? Nobody's hiring. They're living in their basement still, wondering when their life is going to get on track.
Well, also, if you look on our bill, we had $4 billion for student loan deferment just to give them a little bit of relief through the first quarter. This is strictly what we call it's a COVID emergency relief framework. We're putting the language to it now. Hopefully we'll have all done by the first of the week, and we're hoping our leadership will work with us.
Senator, right after the election, one of the first things that happened is the Democratic side kind of took aim at each other and said, who came up with this defunding the police? It almost destroyed us, and it cost you state houses, cost you many seats in the House of Representatives, and maybe prevented you from getting the Senate. And one of the people who fired back at you is Alexander Senator Ocasio-Cortez. She said, I find it amusing when politicians try to diminish the seriousness of our policy work, movement organizing, and grassroots fundraising to just some tweets, because you said all she does is tweet, doesn't really get her name on legislation, as serious. Politics is only done by begging corporate CEOs for money through wax seal envelopes delivered by Raven. All right, so you're saying she should get busy and stop tweeting, and she's saying to you, I am busy, and it's much more than tweeting. What do you say?
Well, I don't have any disrespect for Congressman. We just differ. We disagree. You can respectfully disagree, and we do that. My people in West Virginia expect me to represent them in a rational, responsible, civil manner, in a bipartisan, independent manner, and I do that to the best of my ability. So I don't begrudge whatever she does. I'm just saying that Congresswoman has the right to do what she's doing. She represents her people. They've elected her. It's not who we are. We're not going to defund the police. There's not one senator, Democrat senator, that supports defunding the police. If anything, we think there should be more investments made to better equip, better train, continuing education, so they have the social changes and know them better as they have to deal with them. There's so much more that has to be done. Defunding is not an option on the table. It might be in certain people's district, but no senator, no Democrat or Republican I've ever heard would defund the police in the Senate.
She says she's winning.
Well, she has a lot of following, and I understand that. And, you know, everyone has the right to do what they want to do on that. But you can see the support. If the support's not in the legislature, in the Senate or in the House, don't you think you ought to find something that you can get support, that we can work towards the middle to pass? People don't run their lives from the extremes, Brian. They don't do it. They don't run their businesses from the extremes. We all come together and make rational decisions. That's all I'm asking them to do. Let's be Americans, come together now. We've had a very divisive election, and we're still split as a nation. We got to start healing and coming together.
Right, and you might have no choice, because you're going to get nothing done without doing that. And Senator Joe Manchin will be the fulcrum for that if that can happen. Senator Joe Manchin, can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Brian. Hey, happy holidays to you all.
All right, hope you guys can get something done.
We're going to. We'll get it done. We're going to stay here until we do get it done, Brian.
All right,
we're not going home for Christmas either and tell the people we didn't do anything.
I hear you. Meanwhile, thank you, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia.